I'm a big fan of recipes that take the entire meal into account so that the flavors all match and all the timing's been ironed out. And today Ashley has promised to show me such a meal that includes 3 of my favorite ingredients: pork chops, sweet potatoes, and bourbon.
Can't go wrong with a little bourbon.
Nope.
And the best thing about this recipe is that it uses all pantry-friendly ingredients and it comes together in under 40 minutes.
I love this idea.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the sweet potatoes. So I've got 2 pounds of some sweet potatoes that I went ahead and peeled and cut into 1/4-inch slices. I'm going to add that directly to the saucepan here. And we're only going to use a little bit of liquid to cook the potatoes. And that way we're going to have a really concentrated, strong sweet potato flavor. So this is a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Of course, you could use water if you didn't have any. I have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And finally, I've got 3/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Now I'll just put the cover on and I'm going to cook this for about 20 minutes over medium heat.
Okay. I love cooking sweet potatoes like this. Now, you couldn't substitute regular potatoes because they don't contain enough moisture. Sweet potatoes, on the other hand, have so much moisture they actually will steam themselves right in the pot.
So let's move on down to our pork chops. We've got some beautiful pork chops. And before I do anything, I want to make a spice mixture.
Oh, fun.
Now, I mentioned pantry ingredients. Now I've got some pumpkin pie spice, which as you know, has a ton of different ingredients. We're talking allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger.
Maybe a little clove.
Exactly, and a little bit of clove. And it's just a 1/4 teaspoon in here, because a little bit does say hello to you. And we have a teaspoon of some pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna give that a mix. All right, that is all set for us. Now let's turn our attention to these pork chops. They are bone-in rib pork chops, 3/4 inch to 1 inch thick each, and they're about 8 to 10 ounces each. And it's just important, as you know, to buy pork chops that are even in width, even in size, just so that they all cook at the same rate. So I'm going to just pat them dry with some paper towels before I add the spice mixture. Now let's season evenly on both sides. And seasoning from up high is a really good way to make sure that the salt and the pepper and that pumpkin spice blend are getting all over the chops evenly. So now I've got 1 tablespoon of some melted unsalted butter here in the 12-inch nonstick skillet. I'm gonna cook the chops for about 6 minutes on the first side until they're golden brown.
Okay.
And that's gonna be over medium-high heat. All right, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go wash up.
Okay.
It's been 6 minutes, so let's take a look at the chops. Just gonna flip them over. Oh, baby. They look gorgeous.
They do.
I'm gonna let these go for another about 6 minutes or so until the internal temperature registers 140 degrees.
All right.
Let's take a look at the pork chops. So I'm gonna take the internal temperature again. We're looking for about 140 degrees. 141 on the nose.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
And that's the key to cooking a good pork chop that's not too dry. Aiming between 140 and 145.
All right. So I'm going to take these out of the skillet now and let them hang out and rest while we finish the rest of our recipe. Let's tent this with some foil.
All right.
Now I'm going to go back to sweet potato land down here. I'm going to see how we're all doing. Again, it's been 20 minutes, and as you can see, all of that liquid just stayed trapped in there, and the moisture, like you mentioned, really did a great job of cooking in the saucepan. I'm just using the tip of a paring knife, and as you can see, these are cooked.
Yep. Perfectly tender.
Perfectly tender. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat off, and then I've got our handy dandy immersion blender.
I love it.
And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in there and just blend it until smooth. All right, so these are done. I'll cover it with a lid just to make sure it stays warm for us.
Nice.
But let's make a sauce down here. Again, the pork chops are resting. We have all those built-in times with this recipe. So just over medium heat, I'm gonna add some frozen cherries that I actually quartered ahead of time. And it's 8 ounces.
Yum.
Yeah. And naturally, bourbon. 1/4 cup of bourbon. And yeah, I mean, you don't wanna cook with anything that you wouldn't wanna drink, so. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of orange marmalade. Really good trick for getting a little bit of sweetness on here, but the consistency here too is gonna help with the texture of the sauce. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon pepper. And I'm just gonna combine this.
That smells good.
I know. So now, because time is of the essence, I'm gonna make a cornstarch slurry with some chicken broth. I've got 1 teaspoon of cornstarch here and a 1/2 cup of chicken broth.
Nice, that's just gonna turn that into more of a sauce.
Yep, it's gonna just slightly thicken it in about 3 minutes.
Wow, nice and fast.
Yep. All right, Julia, the 3 minutes is up. That is looking absolutely gorgeous, slightly thickened.
It really is beautiful.
And now I have 2 more tablespoons of butter, unsalted, that I'm just gonna add off the heat. And this is just gonna help to slightly thicken the sauce a little bit more and just provide a little bit more of that buttery richness. Okay.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, yeah. We've got our sweet potatoes here.
Lovely.
Our pork chops, may I serve you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I'm gonna add some sweet potatoes. It gives a little beautiful color. And pork chop. There we go.
Oh.
And finally, some of this delicious looking sauce.
Oh, that sauce looks amazing.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Give you some chives.
Ah, perfect. I've got my knife ready.
Don't wait.
This looks so good.
Oh, good.
And it came together so quickly.
It really did.
All right. I'm going right in for the pork chop. Oh, with some of that sauce on it. The sauce has a real depth of flavor. It's not overly sweet, which you could be fooled into thinking because it has all those cherries and that marmalade. But no, it has a real savory flavor thanks to the fond in the pan and that chicken broth.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pumpkin pie spice is subtle.
Yeah,
but
it
you
is.
do get it in there.
For full episodes of your favorite cooking shows, head over to ATK's Full Episodes channel on YouTube. You can stream complete seasons of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, and more. See you there.